Hi, this is Jessica Dye, and you're listening to the Literati Records podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 9 of the Literati Records podcast. For those of you who don't know me, I'm your host, Marcus. And for those that do, well, I'll have the rent for you by Friday, I swear. Anyway, if you can't tell, I'm really excited about today's show. It is an LRP first. Oftentimes, our interviews take place backstage, before a gig, or in a hallway after a show, or occasionally outside loading up gear with the band. Yet you're welcome, Warlocks. But today is a little different. Since my interview with Jessica Dye was taking place in her home studio, she thought it would be cool to record some tracks live instead of playing her CD tracks. I thought that was a great idea. So Jessica and her upright bass player Chris treated me to an impromptu live performance. We opened the show with the song Clock from her latest album, A Short Spell. Later in the show, we will hear live versions of the tracks Tides and Your Ghost, also on A Short Spell. You can always find complete track listings and show notes at www.literatirecords.com. But before we get into our feature interview, I want to let our audience know about a benefit show tonight down at Three Kings on Broadway to assist Mike Marchant, a staple of the local Denver scene. Mike was diagnosed with lymphoma and has recently begun treatment, which can be very costly. The show kicks off around 9 o'clock, I believe, and features sets from our friends Dragon Deer and Varlet, as well as some other groups. So if you can come make it out, even for a little while, I urge you to come on down to Three Kings and show Mike some love. I will also add the specific info for the gig in the show notes. With that said, let's get into our feature interview with Denver artist Jessica Dye. I'm here with Jessica Dye in her home recording studio. This is where the magic happens, huh?
That's right.
It's a real honor to be able to sit down with you and get to know Jessica, the artist, a little bit more.
Thank you.
Now, early in your career, you recorded for ROA Records. How did that come about?
I actually met a couple people in Orlando, Florida. One of them now is a really good friend of mine who lives in Denver as well and has helped me on my last CD. So, this was kind of before Facebook. I'm going to date myself just a little bit here. MP3.com was really big, and I want to say that I met them through that medium, MP3.com or something like that, maybe MySpace. I had put some stuff online, and they approached me and really wanted to record one of my albums.
What prompted you to move from Florida to Colorado?
Ironically, it was my massage career brought me. Yeah, I just finished massage school, and I moved from Orlando to Telluride, Colorado. Had a little reprieve there in the mountains. It was a little too isolated. I ended up leaving there, but that's kind of how I ended up in this area.
How did the move to Colorado affect your music?
Well, I think I kind of had a little bit of a lull in especially being in Telluride. There was a lot of almost a tumultuous emotional side, ironically, that came out being in such a small town. There was a lot of self-reflection, so I would hike and I would, kind of go into town and then I would go into my room and I'd be like, okay, I'm kind of amongst these drinkers and hikers, and I was all of a sudden in this area where it was like, where's the culture, but it forced me to kind of delve into a different form of inspiration. Like I looked to nature, which is something that always works for me.
I think your music definitely reflects that as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, my music has always come from a very personal inner world that I've had, but even being in a smaller town where I couldn't look externally, it really was like, wow, it's me in this feeling and this music. There's not a lot I can turn to. So Colorado definitely opened me up as far as finding my true voice, my true sound.
It has a way of doing that to a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know how. It just kind of happened.
There's something in those hills.
Yeah, exactly.
The looper plays an important role in your musical style. When did you begin to incorporate that into your sound?
I got the DL4, which is commonly known, the Line 6. That was probably well over 10 years ago, maybe even 12. God. Again, dating myself, sorry. Yeah, I don't even know why. I just kind of was always drawn to that really ambient, like haunting, layering. Like, okay, I'm a one-man band and I want to rely on myself. How can I create this almost atmospheric, haunting sound? So it was quite a while ago.
It can really open up your sound, when used correctly.
Yes.
Which, begs the question, how do you keep it from becoming a crutch and not overusing it?
I don't have the technical capability to do
You couldn't overuse it.
I've watched people and I'm like, oh my God, they sound like a whole band. And ironically, even in the last year, I've had people come up to me and just go, wow, I really love how you don't overuse your pedal and you just use it in a very simple, like maybe I'll layer a voice or 2 guitar parts. But I don't want to say that I'm not technically inclined, but it is kind of the truth. I know it has a lot of capabilities like you're looking at right now. I have the Boss RC50, which is a very capable thing, and I still use it very minimally. I don't know. I kind of like that.
Use it for what you need and leave the rest. Huh?
Right.
Yeah. Now, besides the looper, what other influences have shaped your music? I mean, we spoke of nature.
Wow. It really comes from, I think, a deep place. I don't want to sound like cheesy or, of course, my relationship with humanity, humans, my loves, my friends, my family, my upbringing, But there's also this really deep place in me that I don't understand the world necessarily. I don't get how humans are. I don't understand why they treat each other the way that they do. So it's kind of like music is a reprieve, and it's a place for me to go, wow, this is safe. I have control over this. I understand this. And I need to make sense of something. So
Sure.
a lot of my inspiration is, it's just, I don't want to say it was a sadness that kind of I came into this world with, but because I do, there's beauty and there's love and there's joy and there's all of these other things. But I think the inspiration really is my relationship with myself even. I sit with myself every day and I feel these things, like, why do I feel this? And I'll kind of ruminate and I'll just mull over something over and over. And instead of doing that all the time, I create a song out of it. And it's a lot easier to understand the world, I guess.
Now, your most recent album, A Short Spell, came out in March 2012, correct?
Yes.
Now, can you tell us more about the music on that album?
This is my first album that I did solely on my own, which I just wanted to toot my own whistle there for a second, just because
It's an accomplishment, something to be proud
many
of.
stepping stones. Yeah, you kind of start out and you're like, I'm at A, but I really want to be at, F. And you really just have to go through B, C. As we all know, it's kind of just like, wow, I can't get there. So to kind of be at that place where I'm creating it on my own was empowering, and I had a lot more control over what I wanted to do and how I wanted the songs to form. And again, it was just a very personal last 5 years, well, even longer. Some things resurfaced that I wrote about. So it was a nice thing to culminate.
Now, one of the tracks on the new album was Lighthouse.
Yes.
Is that the same track as on your previous album,
No.
entitled Lighthouse? Completely different Lighthouse.
Total different recording. Yeah, this one has...
It's the same song, just
Yes.
different recording.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
Yeah,
Same
and
song, you
I've
just
seen people
reworked
do
it.
that, which is interesting, is because you have such a cesspool. I don't want to... No, cesspool's a bad word. But sometimes it is. When you're creating, you're like, oh my God, I have to dig through like years and songs, and there's, notebooks and journals, and what am I doing? I have like all this stuff to work through. And that message was great, and that song conveyed this part of me, and you kind of have to sift through it all. So on Mantle, there were a couple songs that I just really, when I would play them, I became so peaceful and so satisfied. Like, I don't have that many songs like that, and I'm sure every artist will tell you, like, there's certain songs that just, when you play them, you're like, I'm just so inside of it. And Lighthouse was one of those where I really wanted to bring it back to life and just present it in a different way. It has a really nice cello on it. So.
Which it didn't have before.
Amazing, yeah.
I bet that's a nice touch.
It is.
Now, one of the things that makes your live performances so special is the connection that you and your audience seem to share. It's very intimate, but with a strong exchange of energy. What does the audience give you that they may not realize?
Their presence. I'll play a show and there'll be a couple people, maybe it's a bad night and friends can't make it out, or people that know my music. I do notice a shift, like when it's a room filled with people that know me and know my spirit and know what I'm trying to convey. It's this constant energetic flow of it's like transferring, where I don't even know if they realize it, that just them, I'll open my eyes for a second because I play with my eyes closed a lot, and I just see all them staring at me inside of my world, this little world I've created, and that presence, just seeing them very still and knowing that they're probably really connecting to what I'm experiencing. So,
Any upcoming shows?
yes, I'm playing Stella's Coffee House, March 29th, Friday night.
March 29th.
Yes.
If y'all have a chance to get down there and see Jessica live, I suggest you do that. She's a great performer, and we're going to hear some more of her music here live in her studio.
Thank you so much. Mystic sun burned a hole inside my head for these thoughts from our lips flow. The wind that took us for the trees and tossed us round in its violent breeze. Love got confused and dressed as rage. It laughed and cried in its silent days. Oh, how the glimmer came through our eyes and quickly turned when the season died. You know my name, but I'm just your ghost. Where were you when I needed you the most? In the haunting of familiar caress, I know in loving you always did your best. I put a sound where your words could be, a nightingale's trap melody. Sing for your supper, sing to be free. It's been forever since you sang for me. The ancient story of how we wait, never admitting that we were late. Hold the mystery, hold the tide.